I know I'm not crazy.
There you are. Welcome back. You already know. In today's video, we got so many crazy theories, mysterious videos. Hit that like and subscribe button as we dive through these videos and try to make sense of all this madness. This guy was driving on the highway and noticed something very unusual in the sky. Take a look at this.
I know I'm not crazy, but there is a blue line in behind that chemtrail right there. It goes all the way. It does not make any sense to me. I know I'm not crazy.
You're not crazy. This blue hasn't faded in over 4,700 years. Interesting. This is in King Djoser's step pyramid. Speaking of ancient relics, check this out.
The 1,600-year-old Roman glass chalice at the British Museum, known as the Lycurgus cup, contains an impressive technology that took modern scientists decades to uncover. The chalice appears jade green when illuminated from the front, but blood red when illuminated from behind, a feature that perplexed scientists for decades after the museum acquired the cup in the 1950s. The mystery was not answered until 1990, when English experts examined broken parts under a microscope and concluded that the Roman artisans were pioneers in nanotechnology. According to the experts, the chalice contains gold and silver particles that have a diameter of 50 nanometers, which is 1,000th the size of a grain of table salt. According to Ian Freestone, an archaeologist at University College London, the presence of the exact combination of precious metals demonstrates the incredible craftsmanship of the Romans. When light strikes the metal specks, electrons try to reflect the light frequencies to human eyes. However, the color-changing process is affected by the observer's position in regard to the light.
That's a massive cup. You know, if you would drink from that cup, what would you pour in there? If they said, all right, we'll let you drink from this cup. We'll let you choose any one beverage. What would it be? Are you asking me? Right now? I'm kind of thinking milk and cookies, believe it or not. A giant using this 4th century cup for cookies and milk. Uh-oh, the caption reads, I should never have gone into these underground tunnels alone.
And things get a whole lot weirder. We're going around a corner here into another side tunnel that goes. We could escape, or we could keep going. Escape, or keep. Red brick tunnel.
It does look like he's under Gotham City or something, doesn't it?
Freaking awesome. The walls are just crawling with bugs.
I was going to say, those look like crickets or spiders.
Sweet. I could stand up for just a moment. If I want a face full of crickets, though, look at this. They're everywhere.
A mouthful of crickets.
Nothing. Bunch of coal. Unless it keeps going over there. I can't really see. Halfway in, might as well find out. Nah, it's just a back wall. Good enough. When you have to know, right? That was graceful, wasn't it? This is a surprisingly long tunnel. You've seen stuff like this before in my videos. People always just assume that they're sewers. No, definitely not. Starting to feel a bit claustrophobic. The question is, what the hell are we crawling through that had all these different side tunnels, intersections?
It's a mystery.
Yeah.
I can tell you we're the first people in here in a very long time.
Very long time. And things get...
Man, be safe down there. I'll be worried about oxygen levels.
This is what they got locked away in the Forbidden Secret Archives. Something that took 12 world-renowned scientists to successfully record back in the 1950s, who are said to have been part of a classified project that created a device that can look into our past, which all came out in a book called The New Mystery of the Vatican, written in 2002 by Francois Brune, a priest who worked very closely with the Vatican, who was told by his colleague, Father Pellegrino Ernetti, a priest, monk, and exorcist, who was also a scientist, engineer, and lifelong scholar. Quite the decorated man, and a well-educated guy too, like he definitely wasn't a crackpot or anything. While the two were discussing interpretations of the Bible in the 60s, Ernetti claimed that he had seen exactly what happened in the book with his own eyes. Just a decade earlier, he was working on a project deciphering old Gregorian chants from tape recordings, when he seemingly heard the voice of the head priest's deceased father talking through the recorder, like they tapped into a conversation he had decades ago when he was still alive.
So basically he's talking to the paranormal now.
Captivated by the idea of capturing sounds from the past, Ernetti got together a group of scientists to work on a new project commissioned by the head priest, among whom was rumored to be Enrico Fermi, the father of the Fermi paradox and the creator of the world's first nuclear reactor, and Wernher von Braun, a German aerospace engineer poached by the US who ended up as a key director during the foundation of NASA. Once again, quite well-educated individuals. Together, they worked on a machine called the Chronovisor, capable of harnessing electromagnetic sound and light waves emitted from the past, and convert those signals into pictures and audio on a cathode ray monitor that allowed us to view the past on a TV screen. According to this work, light and sound continue to exist as residual energy long after the events that produce those lights and sounds have happened. And if we can somehow capture those waves and rearrange them in the sequence that they happened in, we can literally watch the past. Sounds impossible, right? Well, you actually kind of have your own version of a chronovisor at home that you use every single day. A mirror. When you look into a mirror, you're not actually seeing yourself as you are, but as you were fractions of a millisecond ago, due to the time it takes for the light to bounce off the mirror and into your eyes. When you look at the night sky, it's the same thing. The amount of time it takes for the light emitted by the stars to reach us on Earth means we're looking at them as they were hundreds of thousands, millions of years ago. We are seeing into the past. The Chronovisor took this idea, but instead of distance,
Assuming that you're looking at this from a heliocentric model, that would make sense.
applied it to the fourth dimensional plane, observing light and sound emitted from a specific place and time. It used a series of special antennas to capture these waves and convert them to audio and video on a screen, a device that can view events from anywhere and any time in history on a TV monitor just by setting a date and location. Not exactly a time machine, but a time viewer, a project that Ernetti had been a part of since 1952. And he himself insisted to Francois Brune that he saw events like speeches by Napoleon and Mussolini, views of ancient Rome, even listened to famous unfinished plays by ancient Roman poets, only fragments of which existed at the time, and Ernetti wrote them out in full, which still exist today. But as religious scholars, what they were really interested in were biblical events like the final days of Jesus, the creation of the Ten Commandments and such. In the book, Ernetti is quoted as saying, "We saw everything, the agony in the garden, the betrayal of Judas, the trial, the crucifixion." But he knew people wouldn't believe him if he just told them about it, so he took pics. In the book, Brune shows the actual photos of Jesus' crucifixion and other historic events that Ernetti snuck photos of from the Chronovisor. This one allegedly of Jesus getting crucified, and another one of him talking to his followers, which might actually just be low-resolution photos of this statue and that painting, questioning the legitimacy of these photos, but Brune insists the machine was real. One that could view any place from any point in time, including what you were doing in your room last night, all documented in Francois Brune's book, which even includes schematics of the device itself. Ernetti and his team presented the device to Pope Pius XII in the 50s, who immediately confiscated and dismantled it out of fear of getting into the wrong strong hands. Clearly being able to spy on anyone who said anything at any time could be catastrophic if it got out. In 1972, an article even wrote about this device in an Italian magazine called La Domenica del Corriere, which for the record was a real magazine and not a satire paper. With the headline, "A machine that photographs the past has finally been invented," leading some to believe that the Chronovisor wasn't destroyed, but was still being used by the church to control the masses. Stashed away deep in the Vatican archives, which not only do you need very special permission to access, but is also protected by armed guards and state-of-the-art security 24/7. Clearly all they have is a bunch of old writings down there, right? Then in 1988, the Vatican strangely...
If all they have is old writings, then why so much protection? You know what I'm saying? What are they really hiding in there? I've heard some crazy stories of what's really in there.
Passed a decree saying that anyone caught using such a device like the Chronovisor would be excommunicated. Kind of a weird thing to say about a machine that was totally fake and just a rumor. Up until Ernetti passed away in 1994, he swore the Chronovisor was real. Same with Brun, who along with his books about it also heavily wrote about quantum physics, which could potentially provide further explanations for such technology, until he passed more recently in 2019. Two highly respected, religious, and well-educated men that both insisted on the existence of a device that can peek into time, and that it actually hasn't been decommissioned, but rather hidden from the public and is still in use to this day. This is what they got locked away in the
The Chronovisor is definitely an interesting theory, but I don't know about these pictures. As crazy as this sounds, there's a book that I cannot find for the life of me that said he was actually dark skinned, blue eyes, and blonde hair. I can't find the book. You know, everyone knows there's a passage that says he had skin of like burnt bronze, I believe. He had skin of burnt bronze. There ain't nothing burnt bronze about this. And when I was in my studies, a couple people I highly respect that didn't even know each other told me the exact same thing, that there was a book out there that he had dark skin, like darker than me, blue eyes, and blonde hair. And it wasn't no mystery when you seen him. Like, you could spot him out in the crowd and you would be like, oh, that's him automatically. Like this, we're kind of looking at it like, oh, could this be him? Like, it's like you would know as soon as you see him, like, oh, that's him. He does not look like anyone else. There's something different about him, but that's just what I gathered from my research. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Imagine waking up in Ohio and you see this. Not them damn saxophones. This bear. Don't tell me the bear's going to open the door. He's trying. This isn't his first rodeo. He's checking the doors to make sure that, seeing if I can get in here, get me a bag of chips or some chicken nuggets that might have fell under the seat. Yes, one of my favorite topics, ancient engineering. And Chennakesava. I tried, y'all.
Check these out. See, like the last few videos that you've seen, I've been inspecting these, and you know, some of the guys have been trying to tell me that they join here, but they are one piece from there to the top, like I said. And then they have the top plate put on, which comes out to about here. Just like tongue and groove flooring. One part has the male, which looks like male anatomy, and the other part, which I haven't seen here because maybe these are old tongued. The other part, there we go. I believe that's got one. The other part is female. So then the top piece can slide on, and it's how they join some of these. But not only that, sometimes these top pieces, they're circular. And they have a little bit of a checkout here, which you could place little things, almost like bearings, and they could spin. You're about to see that right now. This is the column that would rotate. In that gap, it's like they've basically solidified now, almost fused together. But there would have been small little bearings of some sort in there. How insane. I've never seen anything like this. This is the craziest column I've ever seen. It almost looks like that's the only blank spot. It almost looks like you should put something there and it like activates it, you know? And up the top, they have the same thing. At the top up here, there's a little slit. You would stand here and spin this entire column.
For what though? Why? Was it just decorations? What is it?
Wow, man. Wow. Check these out.
What were they working on?
If an asteroid wiped out the dinosaurs, how are their bones still perfectly intact? We're told a massive meteor crashed into Earth and wiped out every dinosaur. A global catastrophe, fire, impact, total destruction. But here's the question no one really asks. If an asteroid powerful enough to wipe out all life hit the Earth, how did the bones survive? Think about it. An impact like that should have crushed everything, turned it into dust. Yet today, we're shown full skeletons in museums, perfectly arranged bones from creatures that supposedly died in a planet-wide disaster. And it gets even stranger. The first dinosaur fossils were identified in the early 1800s by a man named William Buckland. From fragments of bone, they reconstructed entire creatures. What they looked like, how they moved, even what they ate. Carnivores, herbivores, entire ecosystems.
In all of history, they didn't say, look at this long neck we found. Check out this Velociraptor. Triceratops. Look how it has 3 horns. Not once did they mention it. They mentioned dragons, though.
All built from scattered remains, so the question becomes unavoidable. How much can really be known from broken bones? Mainstream science says the evidence is clear, but when you step back and really think about it, does the story fully make sense, or is there more to the history of these creatures than we've been told?
That's all I do is step back and really think about it. Like, hold on. This ain't adding up.
Empathy is actually smell or chemosignals. Everything is communicated through the breath, and the nose is the primary center of breath. 2 nostrils, 2 lungs. Every emotional state has a signature smell. Empathetic people typically just have a better sense of smell. This is also known as the quantum nose. What people call intuition and empathy is really just smell and pattern recognition. And you smell with your skin as well. Melanin or melanocytes have olfactory receptors. Most people have become numb and smell blind because they live on the grid. The bombardment of the grid blocks infrared sensitivity, so it blocks smells. The bombardment of toxic smells contributes to the noise that alters your DNA. The DNA is a crystal antenna. We live within a natural biophotonic grid and use it to communicate just like cells use biophotons. Your mitochondria use microtubules like fiber optic cables to communicate between cells. This is also a means for long-range or quantum communication.
That is interesting. Did you hear that? Run that back. That might have been a gem. Microtubules act like biological fiber optic cables. Theorized. That is interesting.
Between cells. This is also a means for long-range or quantum communication. Complete sense of smell helps you unlock your memories throughout lifetimes. Smells trigger mirror neurons, which produces somatic empathy. On a collective level, it brings us emotional contagion. Smoking and overindulgence of other sensory pleasures destroys your smell. The body picks up smells in a room or in the collective before you even give definition to those smells. In the skydiver experiment, fearful sweat triggers panic in the people smelling the sweat. Look. A collective of stressed out people changes the breathing pattern and communication rhythm. Most people don't even know how they really smell because they block it. And this blocks real connections.
That's crazy because I remember telling someone that just got done working out, like, man, you might want to hop in the shower. Nah, that's not me. I don't smell. It's that onion musty smell. It's indistinguishable. I can smell it. Nah, that's not me. Man, I kind of get it how they say that it camouflages the scent. You know how someone be frying grease in their house all the time, and then they leave and then their house and clothes smell like grease? But they don't realize it because they've been living in it so long, you know? Fry that grease outside. Get you an extension cord or something. Don't do that in a house.
Scent masking is used by the parasitic predators within them. Just like there are different types of sweat, there are different types of tears. Look. People don't perceive these odors because the environment is dulled and their bodies are toxic. We used to be able to consciously smell tears. The same way dogs can smell cancer and other sickness. Even time can be smelled. Certain smells can increase melanin production. You don't need the sun to tan. Melanin and neuromelanin are binders and protectors. Look, this is quantum entanglement, being trapped in time. What many call union is actually reunion or perpetual reincarnation. Two people that are not designed for each other breeding to bring themselves back to the same place, the same circumstances. Look, but the loop can be broken. Look at retrocausality. The present creates the past. But this will continue in an infinite loop without real transformation. Time won't break the loop. Full expression does, completing the spiral or spin. If you don't disrupt your unfolding, you naturally rotate into your design path. This brings total recall, which allows you to move forward. Anything complete resonates and heals. That starts with complete smells. Live in a wholesome environment. Break the loop. Empathy is actually smell or...
That was an indeed interesting theory about how tears could be different. I never thought about it like that. A lot of interesting stuff to take away from that. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. It's that time of the day again. If you thought I wasn't going to hit you with another excellent specimen of the day today, think again. Tourmaline? Yes, it's a tourmaline. Wow. I felt like we've seen this one before. There's just some pieces you just don't forget, or it's from the same mine at least. Look at the colors, how it just changes. I'm gonna rate this a 9.7. And I'm calling this the Candied Firework. 9.7 Candied Firework. Drop your rating and your name in the comments below. Candied Firework. I would love to have that. That's an excellent piece. That's all we got for today's video. If you made it all the way through this video, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Best way to help this channel out, get it out to more like-minded people. The code word for today is mirror. Go ahead and drop mirror in the comments below. When you do that, that lets me know you're a real one. You made it all the way through the video and you really rock with your boy. I'm trying to get my rhythm back. I'm getting there, y'all. And I just want to say thank you for everything, hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys soon.